I checked 1001, 1002, 1003. I'm going to share the top three financial news for the week of June 29th. And the first one is SP 500 NASDAQ, takes all-time high. And why you should care for that is the market opportunities here. The bullish market suggests, the continued growth potentials in broad market index fund, SP 500, such as SPY, VOO. This is the right time. Since you see the trend, of going up and hit all-time highs, it's a good time to add to your bag and build your portfolio. The sector focus, especially if we look through the portfolio of SP 500, is really comes from the stronger performance in the technological sector and financial sectors. Something like Nvidia, Microsoft, JP Morgan, and those sector-specific ETFs and stocks has a good opportunity for us, to build the long-term wealth. But one thing need to be very careful about this is there's a sentiment in the market, and the market is sentiment driven. We need to be very cautious about the rate cut, particularly the upcoming rate cut, or whether the rate cut is going to be under the values being expected by the market. Those gonna put the market into a retreat position, but overall those are minimized in the short term. And the second news is the one big beautiful bill has been signed into law. And specifically what that means is we have built a bill which is prioritizing on tax and the spending cap package, and particularly it's going to extend the 2017 tax cuts, and also increase the defense spending, but cut Medicaids and green energy credits. So adjusting your portfolio, looking into this perspective is you're going to see maybe some movement in the healthcare sector, also the defense sector. You're going to see a strong push toward the higher side of the stock price, and also you're seeing some retreat from the energy sector. And this bill basically is going to inject money into the market, and is going to impact the interest rate and the inflation, but it will benefit the manufacturing and different sectors. But like I said, they reduce the health care coverage and the renewable energy investment. So that's a part that you need to be careful. Also, for the sector implications, particularly for the different stocks, we may see gains. The healthcare and green energy will see some challenges. So rebalancing your portfolio at the right time is very important for you when you see that the changes being made into the financial market. And the third news is really comes to the undervalued stocks. So if we got to understand the companies, especially publicly traded companies, their value of the company is basically a part of the equity price plus the debt minus their cash portfolios. That's an enterprise value. But for you to look at the business, especially for the manufacturing sectors over the past couple of years, um, because of market conditions, because of inflation, they are struggling, to securing financing for their business project. Business is basically made of projects. GM, General Motors is probably get 1,000 projects in their portfolio to build the revenues, to reduce the cost, to basically get the company into a better position. But those requires money, and with what happened in the past couple of years, we see that manufacturing sector stocks, they have been declining. They're not in a very strong position, except healthcare sector or pharmaceutical sector. So really, this is the time for you to reflect, on your stocks, and particularly looking at the undervalued stocks that are good businesses, and also offers you opportunities to buy the quality companies at a discount and a good time, really for long-term growth for your IRAs or brokerage account, But one thing you need to be careful is, you need to focus on the stocks with really strong balance sheet, so low debt, high cash flow to mitigate the risks from tariff-related volatility or economical shifts, because the macro environment is going to significantly change those risk levels for the certain stocks you're going to be looking at. So you will want to do your own research. And here I'm showing you the two of undervalued stocks from Yahoo Finance, and you can basically look at the stock and pick the business you think are really good business. For example, Progressive, that's a very good business, and something like GM, I personally would stay away from it just because they're so subsidized by the government. But for Progressive, it's a good business. They have a solid product. Goldman Sachs, same way, and Flex Electronics, they are one of the players in the semiconductor industry. MedLife, those are the stocks you can do your own research and looking, from the database, the EDGAR, basically the SEC document filings, and you can look at their balance sheet and make your own choices. This is a good time for you to do your research. With all the money being is going to be injected into the market, we're going to see some good movement, from the stock market. And that's my news to share for the week of June 29th. And most importantly, invest safe and build long-term wealth. Thank you. Bye-bye.